This diagram maps the unforgiving math of the World Cup group stage. 32 slots arrive at the tournament, but those quickly collapse to 16. Teams get a guaranteed 3 matches, 90 minutes each to survive. Make a single mistake and you go home. In standard league play, a slow start can be fixed over a 10-month season. Here, that safety net does not exist. The knowledge that 4 years of preparation could evaporate in a single week creates a specific, suffocating psychological weight on the players. That weight compounds exponentially when you factor in a host nation's expectations. Look at South Africa in 2010. The home crowd demands a performance to validate their status on the global stage. Sifiwe Tshabalala provided the exact release valve for that national tension. Stepping up on his 50th cap, he struck the opening goal that sent the entire stadium and the entire country into absolute ecstasy. The roar of the crowd hides a biological reality on the pitch. Under extreme, concentrated scrutiny, the typical human brain defaults to self-preservation. It triggers a freeze response, shutting down fine motor skills to avoid making a catastrophic error. Most athletes freeze when an entire country watches their every touch, yet a select few manage to process that tension and execute sequences of pure athletic perfection. One response to this environment is the savior complex. When a carefully drilled tactical system collapses, the psychological burden of a nation's survival shifts onto the shoulders of a single global icon. During their group stage match against Iran, Argentina's passing systems hit a rigid defensive wall. Time was expiring, the collective strategy had broken down, and the team needed an individual to bypass the system entirely. Lionel Messi recognized the tactical failure, collected the ball, and took absolute control. He calculated the angle, bent the shot around the defensive line, and curled it past the goalkeeper to secure the victory. We saw a parallel scenario for Portugal in 2018. Facing a late deficit against Spain in an opening match that would heavily dictate their tournament survival, the entire squad deferred to one man. Cristiano Ronaldo lined up a late free kick. He drove the ball up over the defensive wall and dipped it beneath the crossbar, completing a hat trick and rescuing a point for his country. For superstars of this caliber, extreme pressure does not induce panic. It acts as a strict biological trigger. When strategy collapses, they rely entirely on pure, solitary will to force an outcome. The second response relies on removing the brain's decision-making process completely. It is the bypass of conscious thought in favor of raw, uninhibited athletic instinct. Conscious calculation takes fractions of a second. That is long enough to induce hesitation. Deep muscle memory allows players to attempt high-risk acrobatic maneuvers when they are given literally zero time to plan. Robin van Persie's flying header against Spain perfectly illustrates this. Rather than taking a touch and risking a tackle, he overrode any natural self-preservation instinct, launching himself headfirst into space to meet a long pass exactly in stride. Or look at Tim Cahill's equalizer for Australia against the Netherlands. Tracking a ball dropping over his shoulder, he met it with a violent, instantaneous volley that crashed off the underside of the crossbar. Nobody plans a 30-yard volley or a diving header from the edge of the box. These strikes are anomalies, born because the crushing lack of time forces athletes into a primal, reactive state of flow. The third response flips the tournament hierarchy. The weight of expectation can actually paralyze the heavy favorites, creating a vacuum that the underdog actively weaponizes. Teams expected to win the tournament carry a deep psychological fragility. If an underdog disrupts their rhythm early in a group stage match, frustration immediately gives way to panic. Saudi Arabia used this exact dynamic to dismantle Argentina. By pressing high and scoring twice in rapid succession, they hijacked control of the match, leaving the eventual champions scrambling to regain their composure. You see the same rebellious audacity in individual moments, like Cameroon's Vincent Aboubakar against Serbia. Instead of playing safely, he parked himself directly on the edge of the offside trap. When the pass came through, he maintained absolute mental clarity. He completely ignored the possibility of an offside flag, cut inside a sliding defender, and casually scooped a high chip over the goalkeeper. For the underdog, the absurdity of the situation is an asset. The lack of external expectations removes their fear of failure, unlocking a willingness to attempt high-risk plays that the favorites are too terrified to try. The impact of these goals extends far past the final whistle of the group stage. They shape the long-term historical and emotional resonance of the sport. A single perfectly struck ball can legitimize an entire generation of players. Luka Modric's sensational strike against Argentina proved Croatia's golden generation could dismantle traditional footballing royalty. History books record the team lifting the trophy, but the collective cultural memory is forged in the suffocating tension of the opening weeks. That is the essence of a World Cup wonder goal. It requires a flawless intersection of peak human geometry and an unquantifiable, merciless environment. These fleeting seconds of magic provide the purest look at human grace under fire. They are the rare moments where time stops, the noise drops away, and the entire world watches exactly the same thing.